Cincinnati Bearcats basketball takeaways from Howard win, return of Dan Skillings Jr. In a game that featured the return of their best player, the Cincinnati Bearcats weathered a tight first half against Howard to get back in the win column, 84-67, at Fifth Third Arena Sunday afternoon. Ute had 3 players score in double figures, led by Simas Lukošius with 18 points. Aziz Bandaogo added 17 points and 6 rebounds, and Dillon Mitchell had 14 points and several demonstrative dunks. Ute seed was 9 for 10 on throwdown dunks, with Howard getting just 1. "It starts at practice," Mitchell said. "Coach has a little saying, everybody wants to win, but not a lot of people prepared to win. Going hard the days before we have a game. That's where you win games. If you have bad practices, you're going to play how you practice." Howard had led the Bearcats by 2, with just over a minute left in the opening half. From there, Lukošius buried a couple of 3-pointers for a 36-32 halftime lead. Out of the break, the Bearcats scored 8 straight points in less than 2 minutes, making it a 14-0 run before the Bison hit their next bucket. "The second half, we made a choice that we were going to try to defend to a standard we expect," UK coach Wes Miller said. "I thought good things happened from that point. Hopefully, that's something we can build off of." Miller said he's been on level 10 for a week, so he didn't point to anything specific said at halftime with just a 4-point lead. He said the Bearcats have known he's been displeased since just after the Georgia Tech win. Dan Skillings Jr. saw his first action for the Bearcats since November 4, playing a limited amount of minutes as he tries to regain his game legs and confidence after a knee procedure. Skillings had 2 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. "You just feel different about our team with him out there," Miller said. Dan Skillings has the ability to make plays even in bad situations. "We're a much better team with Dan. We missed him dearly. Now it's about getting him back in rhythm and getting his game back. Tonight was a step in the right direction." Ute goes to 7-1 with the victory. Howard drops to 3-6. The Bison were without senior Bryce Harris, who was in a boot with a stress fracture. Harris was the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Preseason Player of the Year and was averaging 9.6 points and 6.1 rebounds per game. Blake Harper led Howard with 23 points and 10 rebounds. Ute out-rebounded Howard 37-23, with Arrington Page grabbing 8 and Connor Hickman 7. Fifth Third Arena attendance was 10,913. With 16:44 left in the first half, No Zero entered a game officially for the first time in 34 days. He missed his first shot, then made a lay-in on an assist from Lukošius at 15:28. He played a little over 5 minutes and then re-entered the game with 6:58 remaining in the half and played another 3.5 minutes. With a commanding lead in the second half, head coach Wes Miller played it safe and kept his second stanza minutes to a minimum. In his opening game against Arkansas's Pine Bluff, Skillings had 17 points and 11 rebounds. "Dan is a hell of a player," Aziz Bandaogo said. "Him coming back just gives us more confidence. He brings a lot to the table, making the game easier." Miller said he would have liked to have had Skillings at Villanova, and he could have played, but they made a long-term decision to take it slow. Skillings played just over 13 minutes, and they hope to increase his production daily. Though Ute led at halftime 36-32 on back-to-back trays from Lukošius, Howard had the lead for nearly 9 minutes of the first half, and there were 10 lead changes. The Bison led 32-30, with 1:07 left before the Lukošius long-range missiles. Last year's game with Howard featured just 5 lead changes, but 8 ties as UC prevailed 86-81 in overtime. The second half of Sunday's game was a different story as UC bolted out and led by as many as 26 points. Kenny Howard is a really good coach, Miller said. After now playing against their team twice and preparing twice, it's not a secret why he's been to that encore tournament the last 2 years. Their movement without the ball can be difficult to deal with. That gave us some problems in the first half. The Bearcats have only trailed at halftime in one game, their lone loss at Villanova. After being held to 9 points at Villanova, the 6'8" Mitchell was back to his effective ways, finishing with 14 points. Mitchell has been in double figures in 7 of UC's 8 games. He also made his third three-pointer of the season and his career. "I think it's the work I put in," Mitchell said of his deep shots. "Coach Wes gives me a lot of freedom on that stuff to evolve my game. So I think it's just confidence, not overthinking it, letting it fly." Though he scored just 2 points, Hickman's basket gave him 1,000 points for his career, with the bulk of those coming at Bradley. In the meantime, he contributed 7 rebounds Sunday and a pair of steals. He has started every game except for the Arkansas Pine Bluff opener. "He'll be fine on offense," Miller said. "He played in the Missouri Valley. That's one of the best leagues in the country. That's not a Power 5 league. He's a damn good offensive player. He's going to be fine. He's already had some good offensive moments here." Wes Miller mentioned Sunday that UC plans on redshirting the senior guard from Columbus. Still, Anthony has a presence, as Mitchell often asks him about things when coming off the court in appreciation of his basketball IQ. "He's the biggest cheerleader on the bench," Miller said. "He prepares them. He knows the scouting report better than anybody. He's what being in this program is all about. He's good enough to start for a lot of Division I teams." The Bearcats host the Xavier Musketeers next Saturday at 2 p.m. Sean Miller's Muskies are 7-2 and have a Tuesday tune-up with Morgan State at Cintas Center. UTSA will have the week off to prepare. Xavier's losses have been to Q of the Big 12 and Michigan of the Big 10. UC's lone loss was in Philly last week against Villanova of the Big East. Sunday, nobody would bite on serving up any crosstown shootout crossfire. "It's big, I hear," Mitchell said. "I'll be excited for it. It's the next game on our schedule, so treat it like any other game. I've been playing in the Big 12 the past 2 years before this. Every game in the Big 12 is tough, no matter home or away. It's the next game on the schedule, and we'll be ready to go," said Bandaogo, who has played once versus Xavier. "It's really just the next game. We prepare for every game the same, trying to win them all. There's going to be a lot of pressure around the city, but at the same time, we're just going to prepare to win since it's the next game." You'll see these repeated throughout the week. UC leads the overall series 51-40. Xavier has won the last 5, including last year's at Cintas Center 84-79. UT hasn't won since 2018, when Mick Cronin was coach. Xavier has won 9 of the last 11 contests. The biggest win streak in the series came between 1956 and 1967, when UC won 12 straight.